And now, with our play-by-play, my partner, Hawk Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet from beautiful U.S. Cellular Field on a beautiful day here in the beautiful city. Denard Span gets set to lead it off against the 35-year-old veteran, Bartolo Colon. First pitch strike.
I got to figure that not only just showing a bunt, but Span's going to bunt at least a time or possibly two today.
Wouldn't you?
I would, but Bartolo gets off the mound pretty quickly.
Very quick. Like a big cat out there. As that pitch misses and the count 1-1. Minnesota comes in at 18-23. They're hitting .270 as a club with a 5.29 team ERA. This is the sixth meeting of the season between these two clubs. In the first five, Sox have won 4.
First time they played the Twins, they were Mauerless. And today, surprisingly, Joe Mauer's hitting in the 2 spot, and you don't see that very often. There you look at Ron Gardner as he looks out at Bartolo Colon.
Outfield around to the left, a 1-2 pitch.
If Colon's going to stay away from Span, and you would think that he would, the left side of the infield is probably going to come into play. And with that in mind, Betterman is well off the line at third.
And that's foul back, Souvenir left side. And here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line. 375 in the gaps and 400 straight away center. So the buzz around Chicago this morning.
A lot of buzz.
Jake Peavy. And you and I both are in agreement. As that change up hit right side, foul. And then agreement. Neither Steve nor myself think it's going to get done.
Well, it's not
from a White Sox standpoint.
Not from lack of effort
That's
by
right.
Kenny Williams and the White Sox. Or Kevin Towers and San Diego. But when you have the hammer and that's a full no trade, you can pick and choose pretty much where you want to go.
Close pitch, didn't get it.
Bartolo sinks this ball away from Span. And it is just off the outside corner.
Well, Span's been doing his job, even though they've lost the first 2 games. He's been seeing a lot of pitches, and he's 3 for 6. He's been getting on base. As there, he comes back with it. He gone.
That time was one of those fastballs that started at the right hip of Span and then shaved off the inside part of the plate. Look at the movement. And Span stood up there for a moment as if trying to will Tim Timmons. Don't believe what you see, believe what I tell you.
That'll bring up Joe Mauer hitting at .397, 7 homers, 18 driven in. Now the White Sox and the Padres both have agreed on a deal. In case you have not heard anything about it, a lot of you hadn't being out of town. There's a strike. But when a club gives a player a no trade contract, somebody ought to send that guy who gave it to him to see Dr. Schwartz. All that is a license to enhance your position in every way, respect, and to extort to a degree.
Well, I do believe that sometimes you can give limited no trades because some guys won't sign without that. But a limited no trade means just that.
A limited no trade is 100% different than a full no trade.
And usually you'll ask a guy, give me 6 teams you want to go to, or I will go 2 years with a full no trade, and then I can move you. But when you have a full no trade over the length of a contract, you're really tying the organization's hands.
And that's what's happened. 2-1. Mauer fouls it back. He is 2 for 8 with a homer in this series.
This is his first look out at Bartolo Colon. So where Morneau has never hit him in 11 at-bats, for Mauer, he's looking at him for the first time. Now you can look at him certainly on tape, It's just not the same.
Close pitch. So Joe Mauer, 26-year-old, magnificent player. Absolutely one of the prettiest players you'll ever see. Everything he does, Steve, is in rhythm, in poetry in motion almost. Running, throwing, hitting.
And if you stand next to him, he's a lot bigger than he appears on television.
That ball hit hard. Ryan got a good jump, can't get there. So the double.
Well, Brian's in perfect position. He's playing him toward left center. This ball's a little higher than Bartolo wanted it. And Mauer, who's a terrific hitter, just ropes it over Anderson's head. Really no chance to get that one.
No, that one step that he took to his right does not make that a bad route at all, because of the fact he wasn't going to get there anyway. As here is Morneau, hitting at .331, 12 homers, 33 knocked in. That's the fourth double for Mauer, as there's a strike on the outside edge. Sox, as I mentioned in the opening, won the opener 6-2 behind Mark Buehrle's sixth victory of the season, just one defeat. Then last night, Johnny Danks came out. Johnny went 5 2/3, giving up 4 runs, just 2 earned, 3 walks, had 7 strikeouts, and he evened his record at 3-3.
These are 3 tough left-handers in a row: Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel. And then you're still not out of the woods because you have Cuddyer coming up next.
That's high. Well, I'm sure in Bartolo's career, one thing about Colon, he is not now, nor has he ever been afraid of that bat. And I'm sure he has faced 3 tougher left-handers in a row. I don't know about 2, but 3 before.
These are pretty tough. Looks to me like he's pitching around Morneau. With first base open, it's not necessarily a bad idea because Morneau, far and away their leading run producer. There you look at the last start. Bartolo had some stomach problems, had to come out after 5, but was throwing the ball very well.
Big hack by Morneau. Off balance. So a full count.
That's the exact same pitch that Mauer hit for a double into left center field.
And the payoff right here. AJ to the outside. And he misses out there. So 1 out, 2 on, and that'll bring up Kubel. Jason, 27 years old. Last year for Minnesota, hit .272, 20 homers, knocked in 78. This year, Kubel hitting .324, 5 homers. And he's knocked in 21. That 21st coming last night when he was 1 for 4.
I talked with John Danks about that particular swing, and he said I'd set him up earlier with sliders, and he didn't react well to the slider. So I thought I would try to sneak a fastball by him inside because I thought he'd be looking for a slider. Well, he wasn't. Lost a base hit.
Well, at least he was thinking out there.
And
that's the whole key.
He also really improved on throwing the first pitch over for strikes, and that was one of the keys to that performance.
Well, last night, to me, this big asset he had was he spotted his fastball. That's the best he spotted his fastball in a long time. When you can spot your fastball, I don't care if you're right-handed or left-handed, you got a good chance of having a good outing, and that's exactly what he had. Fouls that one back in the count 1-2.
At this point, that's really Bartolo's whole game because he doesn't throw a curveball. He doesn't throw much of a cutter. he'll move the ball around. It's all variations off that fastball, and so he has to spot it to be effective. And he'd love to induce the ground ball off the bat of Jason Kubel. He's grounded into 2 double plays this year.
Two and two. Mauer at second, Morneau at first. Sox will conclude the series this afternoon with Minnesota. And then await the Pirates of Pittsburgh coming in tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Conclude this brief 6-game homestand. That's trouble. Bryan will cut it off. Mauer will score. Now he's going to hold him to a single. So it's 1-0 Minnesota with 1 out, runners at the corners.
This Minnesota team is a lot tougher for a right-hander than it is for the left-handers. And Kubel takes that fastball in the outside corner. Bryan does a nice job of cutting it off, and wisely doesn't throw to third. That was his first inclination. But he wasn't going to throw out Morneau at third. You've got to keep the double play in order, and he got the ball into second base.
So here's Cuddyer hitting at .259, 5 homers. He's driven in 22. 3 for 8 in the series with a 2-run homer. And that coming last night. Takes ball 1. So we'll have the Pirates coming in. And after the game today, Minnesota going home, they will have Milwaukee coming in for 3. And the Boston Red Sox for 4. Pops him up right side. That's playable. Two down.
Let's take a look at why some pitchers have problems early in the game. And Hawk was talking about spotting the fastball. Take a look at where A.J. wants it. He wants it inside to both of these left-hand hitters. Look where the ball winds up. Outside to both of them. One was a double, one was a base hit. But because he missed his spot by a good 1.5 feet, they turn into base hits.
Here is Joe Crede. Joe at .229, 5 homers, 16 knocked in. All right, you were a breaking ball pitcher after you hurt your arm the first time.
Yes.
And I'm sure there were a lot of times that you went out there that you could not get that breaking ball over. But you had good control of your fastball.
A lot of times that happened, but I also come up with some other pitches.
That's high into center field. We'll continue with that. As they do come up with 1 run, and after a half inning of play, it's the Twinkies 1 and the good guys coming to bat.
Harrison Dye 1 through 3 with Jim Thome hitting cleanup on an 8-game hitting streak. Then it's Konerko, Brzezinski, Wilson Betemet, Chris Getz and Brian Anderson rounding it out in the 9th spot. The Lowe's defensive setup, left to right, Kubel, Span, and Kadire. In the infield, Creedy, Punto, Tolbert, and Morneau. Morales behind the plate, the switch hitting catcher. He's going to catch the U.S. Cellular starting pitcher, and that's Nick Blackburn. On for his 9th start. He's 2-2. His ERA in the mid-4s. And you can see strike to walk ratio, not that good.
First pitch strike to Pods, and before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Pods hitting at 268, 2 for 8 in the series. But getting back to that scenario we were discussing, when you went out there and you couldn't get your breaking ball over, you didn't have your real good fastball pre-good arm, but you had good control of the fastball that day. The only thing is there's a base hit. That a boy, Scotty Pods. Kadire gets to it, so the leadoff man aboard, but you still had to make adjustments even with just the fastball.
Well, you have to do something, and those are the days where it's really difficult. But those are the days that separate the guys who win consistently from the guys who are going to wind up under 500. And that is learning how to be competitive and hopefully win with less than your best, because many times you go out there with much less than your best.
Here is Alexei. Alexei hitting at 218, 2 for 7 in this series. Well, Jack Nicklaus, when he was trying to help me with my game after I retired from baseball, told me something that is analogous to that, being, he says, Hawk, you know, he says, when I'm hitting the ball good and putting good, it's easy to go out and shoot 64, 65. He said, when I have the most fun on a golf course, though, is not that scenario. When I have the most fun is when I'm hitting it sideways and can't make a 5-footer. Now I say to myself, Jack, now you got to play today.
Well, that's what happens with most of these guys, because especially as the season moves on, it is a game of attrition. Nature and this game will take a little something away from you via the injury. Then you have to do something to compensate for not being 100% on a given day. But you have to play every day, and you have to go out there and consistently compete. And that's the 3rd time in this series that Scotty Pods has been picked off, but the first time they've actually gotten it.
Not a whole bunch to it.
Now, the one thing you really have to be aware of is it would help to allow the pitcher to throw the ball before you run. Because if he's holding it and you're running, you got a problem.
Most of the time.
Most of the
We've
time.
seen a few times when there was no problem for the runner.
Well, that's true, but right-hander up there.
1-1 to count. So we get the leadoff man aboard. He is no longer aboard. And the count 1-2. Blackburn, big guy, 6'4", 227 pounds, 27 years old, out of Denton, Texas.
Last year he was 11-11. His ERA a tick over 4. He was knocking at the door at 200 innings, 193 in the 3rd. Now he's not overpowering, and that appeal to first base. Rob Drake says no. But last year Blackburn gave up 223 hits in those 193 innings. That's not a good total, but he had tremendous control. He only walked 39.
Boy, he went down in a hurry. That got him on, maybe on the knee or the shin.
Well, we'll take another look at it, and it appears that that shin guard wasn't that much protection for him. That's because it got him on the right knee, and he had the shin guard on the left shin. So I'd be asking AJ to borrow a shin guard if this happened to me consistently. They're out there talking with him. That one really hurts. You just have to hope that it hit off the side.
Well, he didn't have a whole bunch of cushion.
No, he doesn't. We'll take another look at it. I think they're going to have to double his meal money. Get a little meat on his bones.
That's in the dirt. So a full count to Ramirez. Jermaine Dye on deck.
Now you must have fouled a lot of balls off your body, Hawk, because you had quick hands. And the same things hold true with Alexei. He's got very quick hands. And if he gets out over the top of it, he's going to foul it off a piece of his anatomy.
Do you know, Steve, the irony of what you just said is true, but as there's ball 4, I'll bet you my whole career I didn't foul 20 balls off my body in my whole career.
Now, I know you stood on top of the plate, so
that helped.
When they busted you inside, what'd you do?
Well, I was opening up, so usually my left foot was going towards third base. If you got to clear if you're going to stand on top of the plate. So when I fouled it down, there was nothing there to hit.
Well, I opened up a lot also, but I was striding toward the third base dugout, trying to get away from what I suspected would be a pitch that would hit me.
Jermaine, big blow last night, his 8th career grand slam. And that followed just a terrific at bat by Jason Nix. He battled and battled and battled. He had men on second and third, 2 out. Nix comes to the plate. Battled and battled and battled. That's foul. Finally drew the walk, and that walk was because this happened.
Jermaine Dye crushes this ball, and I asked him, did you get all of that? He said, I got most of it.
You got a great smile.
No hitter's going to tell you they got it all, because they always know there's a little left that they might have got.
And Drake calls him out.
Good stop by Morales as this sweeping breaking ball goes in the dirt. And Jermaine thought he checked his swing. And here is the matchup that propelled the Sox to the playoffs and sent the Twins home.
Game 163. As there's a strike on the inside corner. Jimmy 3 for 5 with a couple of big RBIs. That coming in game 1 in this series. Quick snap throw by Morales.
Catchers love to go behind the left-hand hitter and try to pick off what they believe would be a napping base runner. In that case, Alexei was able to get back. It was a favorite trick of Pudge Rodriguez. He did it all the time.
You know, people always, when during the winter, you speak here, speak there a little bit. People always asking me, who's the best first baseman you ever saw? Who's the best center fielder you ever saw? Who's the best catcher you ever saw? And there's no question about it who was the best catcher. Ivan Rodriguez. He is a Hall of Famer from the word go, and especially because, as I've talked over the years, one of the reasons why I'm catching all those games in that heat. Magnificent job, and boy, I never saw him dog it. Never one time saw him dog it.
Now, he also wanted to play each and every day, and you can understand in Texas where it would wear you out. Didn't wear him out at all, and in fact, as the year went along, although you see a lot of catchers' numbers significantly drop off in the second half, especially in the warmer climates, his didn't drop off very much.
But no, he's the best. I've seen better guys behind the plate just strictly on the defensive, nature.
I thought defensively Rick Dempsey was right up there with any of them.
He's right up there with any of them you ever want to mention. There goes Alexei. That ball hit into left center field. Kubel. Watch out. Almost a collision out there with Span. But that'll do it. We get the leadoff man aboard and then a walk. Still can't do anything with it. It is 1-0 Twins.
If this team is going to do a whole lot, and you look at the difference between the big hitters of both teams in the middle of the lineup. Now, where Mauer, Morneau, and Kadire have done a good job, Dye, Thome, and Konerko have done a great job, and that's the reason why the Sox have won the first 2 games of this series. So we'll see how today plays out, but you'd have a feeling that those 6 will play prominent roles.
First pitch strike to the switch hitting catcher Jose Morales.
He's been a pretty good hitter from both sides of the plate, and he was brought up to give Ron Gardner a little more flexibility. He's actually the 3rd catcher they're carrying.
Well, the ideal situation is to be able to carry 3 catchers. But if that's the case, you're going to have to cut down in your bullpen. And most managers will not do that. They want that guy out there in the bullpen. That's out of play. And the count. Hangs it 0-2. Through the middle and into center field.
Book a White Sox group outing or party area today. Save on each ticket for a group of 20 or more fans. The warning track, the fan deck, or an individual game diamond suite is available. Book a group outing or party area today. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
So here's the switch hitting second baseman Matt Tolbert, 0 for 3 last night. And there's a base hit. So the seeing eye single by Morales, and then the sharp single by Tolbert, and Colon in trouble.
Tolbert's been trying to pull everything, and here you see an example of it, only this time it turns into gold. Drives this ball in the hole, and now you would think that Nick Punto would be laying it down. He's a good handler of the bat. You're going back to the top, and remember, Mauer is hitting second, so he will have an opportunity if Punto does get this bunt down, if he is indeed bunting.
Betterman. A little in between right there. You better let that pitcher know what you're going to be doing. He's just trying to hold his ground.
Well, Wilson was going back to third as Ramirez was coming over to third. They had third well covered. So this is where you have to tell Bartolo Colon if you want him to go to the baseline or charge straight ahead. But the first thing is you have to throw strikes.
And the count 2-0. Bunts it. Just poked at that one, jabbed it. Not a good effort right there by Nick Punto. Usually is a pretty good bunter.
He has 3 sacrifices this year, and surprisingly, he has 3 sacrifice flies. So you just don't want to jab at the ball. Nick never got his bat into fair territory. That's one of the keys to a sacrifice bunt. Get up in the box as far as you can and make sure your bat's in fair territory, so when you do bunt it, the ball's in fair territory.
Punto had a sacrifice fly in game 1 of this series. Now that'll get the job done. You could see that coming. You could see that coming.
Well, Wilson came in. Now you have to know that he's bunting. And he came in barehanded the ball, then with no angle at all threw it right into the back of Punto. Wilson actually gets there a little slowly and hits Nick right in the helmet. Sacrifice, most likely E5.
Could see it coming. So here's Span. Get foul. Get foul. It will, thank you very much. Ball just over the reach of Bartolo. Hit by Morales for the single to start this inning off. Then a sharp single by Tolbert. And in a bunt situation, the error. This could turn out to be an ugly inning. Bartolo's got to do some chunking right here. And he's way ahead in the count, 0-2.
Well, Tolbert doesn't have great speed. So on a medium depth fly ball, it might be a little difficult for him to score. But they're back in the middle of the infield. They're going to concede the run for the out to try to stay out of the big inning. With the hitters coming up, if you can get out of this inning, giving up just 3 runs wouldn't be all that bad. Any less would be terrific.
Fair ball. Betterman guns over. And they get him. Nice play by Betterman and a nice job of staying on the bag by Paulie.
Well, that ball squibbed off the bat, and there was nothing that Tolbert could do. He had to stay at third. Betterman actually throwing behind him. And Paul kept the foot on the bag. Rob Drake on the call. And a very good play.
So here's Mauer. He doubled into deep left center and scored last inning. Takes first pitch strike.
Those are pretty lofty numbers. On base percentage of .500. Now he missed a month. But pretty much shows you what he means to this team.
High into short center field. Tolbert's tagging. Brian's got Jay Pierce at throw. Nope. Way off the mark. And it is 3-0. So the giving them an extra out here has given them one more run. Up to this point.
It's a 3-run deficit. Now you have to deal with another tough left-hander. But so far, Gardner's move of putting Mauer in the 2 spot has paid dividends.
Now they're just going to go ahead and put Morneau on. He walked last inning. Jason Kubel on deck. So 2 on, 2 out, 2 in, 3-4-0 for them, 0-1-1 for us. Best part about it is still very early. We have 24 more outs. High and wide. Well, the errors in the American League are so much more magnified than they are in the National League.
Especially if they happen at the bottom part of the order and you roll over to the top where you're now facing some guys who can really get it done.
Yeah, there's just a lot of difference. You give teams in the American League 4 outs, you're usually going to pay. If you do it more than once in a game, if you do it 2 or 3 times, you're probably going to lose. There's a good strike. Tailing fastball coming back to catch. Inside part. Stay right there. Maybe just a couple inches more inside.
Kubel fouled that one off his foot as Bartolo tried to get that ball inside on him. This Minnesota team is the best by far defensively in the American League. One of the reasons why they are where they are at this point, which is tied with us in the standings, is that they lost one of their best players for a month, and the team to this point is not scoring as many runs as they thought they would. That probably has a lot to do with the loss of Mauer.
Yeah, they're on a 6-game losing streak. Two and 2 the count.
They have also been just horrible away from home. I mean, it's tough to win on the road, but the Twins are 4-14 on the road. We're no great shakes. We're 7-14.
Well, combined, we're 11-28. The 2 teams on the road.
Not good.
Punto at second. Morneau at first. And the 2-2 pitch. Base hit. And it is 4-0. Kubel 2 for 2, 2 RBIs.
Once again, AJ wants this ball on the inner portion of the plate. Bartolo gets it away, and Kubel just hooks it into right center field.
So here's Cuddyer. He popped up to Konerko. So an ugly inning. That's the 53rd pitch thrown up to home plate by Colon, and just an inning and 2/3. That's trouble. 3-run homer, and it is 7-0.
Two home runs in this series by Cuddyer were line drive rockets that didn't even think about coming down. He doesn't hit him with overspin. He just crushes him. In the Ford home run replay, this fastball was supposed to be up and in. Instead, it was up and out, way out.
So that era has led to 5 unearned runs here in the top of the second inning. And that is gone. Creedy. That's his 6th homer. Now make it 6 unearned runs that era has caused.
17th run batted in for Joe Creedy, and Bartolo doesn't have enough on the fastball today to get it inside to these big right-hand hitters. That ball belt high right down the middle. Don Cooper comes out. He wants to give that bullpen a chance to get loose, so Don's going to go into a slow walk.
So an ugly inning. If you're just tuning in, to start it with a little chopper just inches over the partial leap by Colon. Then Tolbert with a sharp single. Then the sacrifice bunt. Edelman came in slow, picked it up, and hit Punto with it for the error. That would have been 1 out. Then the ground out by Span to third. Sacrifice fly. That would have been out 3. But then the intentional walk. Base hit by Kubel. 3-run homer by Cuddyer. Creedy solo shot. Wow. That ball hit way back. Jermaine there makes the catch, and this inning is over. So they put a big crooked number up there, and they lead it 8-0. bad situation. It is 8-0 going to the bottom of the second, but the key is going to the bottom of the second. On a day like today, our club can score. Now, the question is, can Nick Blackburn pitch with a lead?
Well, we'll see, because he's got to go through the middle of the order a number of times, and hopefully that number of times is at least 5, because otherwise, with an 8-0 lead, you feel pretty good about yourself.
Here's Paulie on a 9-game hitting streak. Konerko 2 for 6 in this series. Both of them home runs. He also has knocked in 4. And the count 0-2. Greedy. So 1 out. Right now, let's check out our Heineken picks to click this afternoon. Jim Angio, our director and the crew, well, they went with Scott Posednik, Lisa, Steve, and Layla. They're going to go with Jim Tomey, and Julie Taylor, Don Esposito, and Roy Rivas. Now we're going to go with Chris Getz. I remember a game. The team scored 8 runs against us, and we came right back with 8. I think that was the only time in Major League history that ball hit into left center field, slicing back to Cooper, 2 down. I think that was the highest margin deficit that a team came back from in the same inning.
Well, we could use one of those innings, but with 2 outs and nobody on, we need a little thunder.
So here's Betterman. Want to know the count. Chopper 2 hopper. So a 1-2-3 inning. And we trail it 8-0.
Listen to the postgame show on AM 670. The score for the question that might make you the next Walgreens VIP for a day. Answer correctly and you'll win 4 game tickets, a White Sox cap and t-shirt, and the opportunity to watch batting practice and meet a current White Sox player or coach. Lance Broadway comes into the game. The last couple of times Broadway has thrown unbelievably well. He's on for the 8th time. ERA .284.
First ball hunting, Matt Tolbert. 1 pitch, 1 out. 8-0 Minnesota. 6 unearned runs last inning.
And in talking with a few folks associated with this Twins team, they said that Tolbert and Punto both have been trying to pull just about everything. And because of that, they find their batting averages well down. Both of them much better hitters than they've shown.
First pitch strike. Punto with that sacrifice bunt. And then the throwing error by Betterman was the error that allowed the 6 runs to cross home plate. Two and 1 to count to the 31-year-old veteran.
This Twins team has 3 switch hitters on it, and most likely will send down Morales as soon as Delman Young comes back from his bereavement leave.
Way out. Full count. And that's into left center field. Pides making the call, has the ball, and that's out number 2. Twins go back to the top of the order. Denard Span has struck out and grounded out 5-3.
Just a gorgeous day here in Chicago. Unfortunately spoiled by 8 Twins runs to this point.
Well, this game's not over.
No, things could turn around.
Not by a long shot. Pokes that one out in the left field. So good speed aboard. Now, if they're going to keep adding on, then this game is over.
Well, Minnesota goes home after this. This was a road trip that found them 4 in New York. They got swept. The first 2 here, they lost. After the game today, they go home and they face Milwaukee for 3 and Boston for 4, and that's not an easy homestand.
Here's Mauer. Takes strike 1. Joe has doubled, scored, and has a sacrifice fly. One and 1 to count.
Will there be another guy that hits 400? And if so, is this the guy that has a good shot?
I don't think there's any question about it. I'm a firm believer that single season records are very prone to be broken. Now, you taking some of the long-term records? No. Cal Ripken's record, in my opinion, will never be broken. As that's trouble. Jermaine cannot get there. So they're going to wave Span around, and it's 9-0. I think somebody will hit 400.
And will Mauer have a shot to do it if they don't catch him more than, let's say, well, this year he missed a month. So let's say they catch him 90 games, DH him, give him an opportunity to get a little rest in between. Does he have the kind of swing that can produce that?
Steve, I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, he's just a magnificent player. He's one of the best talents I've ever seen. No cannot check it up. Twice he has walked, once he has scored. But you know, when you take a guy who's got as great a plate coverage as Joe Mauer, as strong as he is, it's very unusual for a young player to be that strong and not want to hit home runs. It's amazing, and he seems to have the mentality. He's led the league in hitting twice, so he's not afraid to do that. The only thing he would need to have is some people in that lineup to give him some protection, a little bit more than he's got now.
He's got pretty good protection behind him.
Yes, he does. He needs somebody in front of him.
Right. The question is, and I think hitting in the 2 spot, I think Gardy might have found something. And I don't say he'll consistently hit in the 2 spot, but when you have a speed merchant ahead of him, if he gets on and you have to move into the stretch, that only helps Mauer.
No question, and that's what I'm talking about. If you put somebody in front of him who can run, that's how you protect him from that spot in front of him. Because as good as he is, they're not going to be walking him a lot if first base is open to get to Justin Morneau.
No.
3-1 on the outside edge, full count.
Ooh, that was a nice size edge. But at 9-0, occasionally that plate gets a touch bigger,
especially on getaway day. Top of the 8th in Detroit, 3-1 Tigers over Texas.
Texas ran into a buzzsaw in Detroit because they went into Detroit playing good, solid baseball, as we can certainly attest to. And Detroit, winners of 5 in a row, looking to win their 6th. They've got a 2-game lead over Kansas City and 5.5 over both Sox and the Twins.
So the 3rd walk of the game to Morneau. Yeah, but getting back to Mauer, you know, he certainly, for a guy that big, that strong, has the speed to get himself beat out a few infield hits during the course of the season.
And he has a tremendous advantage, Hawk, in that you can't defense him any one way.
That's plate coverage. But when the guy's got that much plate coverage, you can't play him one way. That goes hand in hand. You pitch him away, he hits it away. You pitch him down the middle, he hits it up the middle. You pitch him on the inner half, he pulls it.
I know it's terrific, and you've got Victor Martinez at this point hitting .400, and he's going to play some first base and catch and DH, so they'll protect him in Cleveland. He won't, however, hit .400, I don't believe, or close to it before all is said and done. And then Miguel Cabrera, who both you and I, Hawk, think is about as good a right-hand hitter as it gets.
Yeah, he is. At the tender age of 25, he's driven almost 650 runs.
And he's having a big year this year. Coming into today's action, hitting .385.
That's in to right field. And that'll do it. They put one more on the board, and they lead it 9-0. In an interleague showdown as the Sox and Pirates in HD tomorrow night at 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. 9-0 bad guys. Here in the bottom of the third inning, 9-9-0 for them, 0-1-1 for us. Chris Getz will lead it off. He'll be followed by Brian Anderson, and back to the top of the order with Scott Posednik. That pitch off the plate. Top of the third in Kansas City, and the Indians and the Royals are tied at 2. Base hit. Let's just pick up 2 or 3 right here, boys.
Well, that's what keeping the ball on the ground will do for you. Morneau did a good job trying to dive and keep this one in the infield. But he can't get the job done. What a promising way to start the third inning. Brian went after the first pitch 3 times last night.
There's a shot base hit. Well, again, there's nothing wrong with that if you're going to go 2 for 3 or 3 for 3.
Well, if you get a pitch that splits the plate or something you're looking for, that's one thing. But going up there occasionally over anxious is not a good thing. That time the ball was right down the middle. And that's a pitch that very few young hitters are ever going to let go.
If you're going to go up there and have 4 bats and see 5 pitches and go 0 for 4, unless you hit 2 or 3 line shots. Now, Brian, in the opener, hit 2 rockets right to Joe Crede, so he could have been in that game 2 for 4. Meanwhile, he came up empty.
That breaks a long hitless streak for Anderson. Breathes a sigh of relief. And again, promising start to the third inning. We've already seen it's a very lively ballpark today.
Yeah, this is a real small park today. And has been throughout the series. As the count moves to 2-0.
So far, Blackburn's kept his pitches to a minimum.
And let him hang himself. Don't help him out. Alexei on deck. Just tuning in, Twins 1 in the first, 7 in the second, 6 of those unearned. We got 1 error that was a biggie. And they added 1 top half of this frame. Strike on the inside corner. Big gap out there in right center field. And there's ball 4. That will load him up with nobody out.
And all of you folks out there realize, if you've watched us at all, that our Grand Slam specialist is Alexei Ramirez. And he's hitting with the bases loaded. Now Punto comes out. Morales goes to the mound. Everybody wants to settle down Blackburn. Remind him of the 9-run lead. See if Alexei can make this a whole lot closer.
1 swing of the bat can get that done. Alexei walked his first trip. Shot. And they double up Pods. That is not good. That is inexcusable.
That's an awful piece of base running.
Inexcusable.
Well, especially when you're looking right at third base. And that was hit hard, but not all that hard. And Joe really didn't have to move. You see Crede, he's standing right there. That ball was hit right between his uniform number.
So here's Jermaine. Struck out on a check swing. Breaking ball down and away. mercy, mercy, mercy. Straightens him up, grabs the strike, and the count evens at 1. Outfield, they are deep, spread out for the most part straight away. And the count 2 balls in the strike. Jim Thome on deck. There you'll suck it up. So we have the bases loaded, nobody out, and we cannot dent home plate.
And here's the Duck with the Aflac trivia question. Who were the 2 Twins pitchers that won 20 games in 1969?
First pitch strike to Cuddyer, who was 1 for 2, a 3-run homer, coming back in the second inning.
Last year he had just about every injury you'd want to have, but this year he's entirely healthy, and he's convinced us he's one of the stronger guys in this league.
And there's the base hit, so the leadoff single. Here's Joe Crede. He backed up that 3-run homer by hitting a solo shot himself. Joe's 1 for 2. Takes it outside. Big hack. 1-1 to count. One and 2 to the former Sox third sacker. Alexei. 1 out.
Treat your group of 50 or 100 fans to a pregame patio party buffet and then enjoy the game from the warning track area. Call 312-674-1000 to book your warning track party today or visit WhiteSox.com for more details.
Jose Morales is 1 for 2. Both those at bats coming back in the second. He started off that 7-run second with a little seeing eye single just over the head of Bartolo Colon.
Morales started his career after being drafted by the Twins back in 2001. He was a 3rd-round draft choice.
Out of play.
Coming into this year, as far as the major leagues are concerned, he was the kid that hit 1,000. He was 3 for 3. Then they cooled off his big bat by leaving him at Rochester all year last year.
No. How can they do that?
He hit .311 at Rochester in '07. Then was brought up briefly and went 3 for 3 in one game. Not bad, with a double included. So they sent him back to Rochester where he hit .315.
Count evens at 2 with 1 down here in the top of the 4th inning. 9 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Minnesota. No runs, 3 hits, 1 errors for our Sox. Bettelman throws it away.
And threw it way away.
And it is 10-0 as Kadire will score. Morales in the second.
You do have a catcher running, and I'm not quite certain why you need to barehand this ball. He would have been out by 5 steps if you just caught it in your glove and threw it.
So the second error of the game by Bettelman. Twins scored 6 unearned runs in the second. There's a strike.
That was ruled single and E5.
And the count 0-2. He gone. 2 down.
Good hard breaking ball low and in. And he got Tolbert swinging over the top of it.
So here's Punto. Takes first pitch strike. And the count very quickly 0-2 to him. So a 10-0 Minnesota. We could stop them from scoring, Steve.
That would be good.
That would be nice. We got to stop them from giving them 4 outs in the inning.
That'd be even better.
That'd be even better. Right. Yes, he did. He knew it. AJ, Paulie on the outside of it. And that'll do it. But another unearned run crosses the plate. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th.
Lacrosse, who were the two Twins pitchers that won 20 games in 1969? And the answer, Dave Boswell and Jim Perry, the brother of Gaylord Perry.
Faced them both a lot.
Jim didn't have the same kind of pitch as Gaylord did he?
No. He was a little sinker slider for the most part.
Gaylord didn't share that with too many people.
No. Thome takes it inside. We trail 10-0. We've given them 7 runs if you're just joining us. Thome 0 for 1, 1 out, 2. Jason Kubel in left field. No, Jim Perry had he could throw it through a teacup that year. Grab a strike anytime he wanted with any pitch he had.
He pitched for the Indians for a while. I do remember that.
And Boswell, he had good stuff. Threw hard. There's a strike. Had a good curveball. And he would pitch inside. And there's ball 4. I saw Frank Howard hit one of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit. And certainly one of, if not the hardest home run I've ever seen hit on Boswell in Washington. On a 3-0 pitch. There were 2 guys on. We were trailing by 3. Gil Hodges gave him the hit sign. And you've seen RFK.
I have.
That ball hit in left center field going up as Paulie cannot get it 2 rows from the back tier. And if it had been up, it would have been all the way out of the stadium.
When that happens, pitchers usually are thankful that they didn't hit it back up the middle.
Paulie 0 for 1, grounded out to Joe Creedy at third. Hit him on the fist, pops him up. Now Creedy's going to get him on a pop-up. 1 down. And that'll bring up AJ. AJ went out to Kubel and left. Like Thome. Shot foul. And making plans to be with us tomorrow night. First game of interleague action for our Sox. Gavin Floyd against Zach Duke. Plenty of good seats available for that. And also on Sunday when Mark Burley will tee it up against Jeff Karstens. Now on Saturday, Clayton Richard will be on the bump against Ross Ohlendorf. So make your plans to be with us here over the weekend. Great weather expected. We got to keep our Sox on the roll.
Zach Duke has become a lot better pitcher. When they first brought him up, he looked terrific, then fell into a terrible slump. And now under Joe Kerrigan, the new pitching coach for Pittsburgh, Duke has thrived, as have the rest of that staff. I mean, it used to be a staff that had all kinds of problems, but Kerrigan, who pitched with Baltimore and then was a pitching coach for a number of different teams, has done a pretty good job with that pitching staff. There you look at the probables. You see Duke at 5-3, Ohlendorf at 5-3, and Karstens not quite as good against our best, Mark Burley.
Marno playing behind Thome. And there's a base hit. Just pokes it out there in the right field. So with 1 out, got a little something going. 2 on, and it'll bring up Betterman.
AJ hit the ball pretty well the first time up, and this time he took one right off the ground. In fact, Morales thought it was going to be in the dirt, and might have been, if not intercepted by the bat of Pierzynski.
Betterman grounded out to Matt Tolbert at second. Bit of a gap out there in right center. 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors for Minnesota. No runs, 4 hits, and a big 2 errors for us.
.51 pitches for Blackburn. That's not a high total to this point.
Softly hit. He goes to second. They get A.J. So that is out number 2. And that'll bring up Chris Getz. Chris is 1 for 1. Singled in the hole between first and second. Good effort by Morneau. Just couldn't quite get his glove down. Now the outfield about equidistant, spread out. Betterman moseys on into second.
That's heads up base running as soon as that ball was in the dirt. Morales was only worried about third base. And Betterman is in scoring position. It's a good job of blocking the ball. That ball caught the corner of the plate. Tough pitch to Corral. Still goes to the wild pitch.
And that's in the center field, right at Denard Span. Makes the catch once again. Like last inning, we had the bases loaded, nobody out, couldn't score. We get 2 on, 1 out, can't score. The top of the 5th inning, 10-0 Minnesota. Top of the order, Span, Maurer, and Morneau to face Lance Broadway. First ball hunting. 1 pitch, 1 out.
If you can't watch your White Sox on Comcast Sportsnet, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer. For more details, visit WhiteSox.com, where baseball is always on.
Here's Maurer, 2 for 2, 2 doubles. He also has a sacrifice fly. Are now with 20 RBIs. And the count 2-0. Big hack, good pitch. Got it in on it.
Pretty much thinking what you do with Mauer is exactly what Earl Weaver decided when Jim Palmer was pitching against Rod Carew. Because Carew was hitting .600 against him, and he said, look, at a team meeting, and he said, we can't get him out. It's impossible. So, Jim, you're going to throw him a slow curveball every pitch, and Rick Dempsey, you're going to tell him what's coming.
It's back on the track.
And they did that. Palmer went to the mound. Dempsey went, hey, Rod, it's a slow curveball. And he thought he was lying to him and got a slow curveball. Kept doing that each and every at bat, and it drove Carew crazy. Next day we did the same thing. The entire series, I think Rod got a hit, maybe one, and saw every pitch a slow curveball.
Here's Morneau. Right, 2 gets. Nice inning, 1, 2, 3 for Lance, and we're halfway home. All right, David Kaplan, thank you very much, buddy. Brian Anderson will start things off. He is 1 for 1, hit the first pitch he saw for a base hit, right back through the middle. 10-0, Minnesota. Brian takes ball 1. The looper. It's fair. It's trouble. Foul ball. So he'll come back. 1-1 the count. Well, you know, you're talking about Palmer and Carew. We did the same thing with Catfish Hunter. You know, back in those days, you can't do it today. They changed the rule. But back in those days, the pitcher could be on the mound, and in our pregame meeting, Alvin Dark says, Cat, I just want you to throw in nothing but BP fastballs right down the middle. This was Tony Oliva, not Carew. Cat was out on the mound, says fastball. Threw a little BP fastball right there and froze Tony. He didn't know what to do.
Well, they don't know if you're lying to them. That's
sure. That's the whole thing. Get them thinking. When a guy's in a hot streak, he is not thinking. That's why he's in a hot streak. You give a guy a chance to outdumb himself, and 9 out of 10 times he's going to take it.
Now, you remember Bart Johnson, of course, threw really hard.
One of the best right-handed arms you'll ever see.
He threw really hard when he came up with the White Sox.
Just foul.
And he was facing Tommy McCraw. You remember Tommy McCraw? And Bart knew he could throw his fastball by everybody, so he gave him the fastball sign and threw a fastball right by him. He swung at it. Got the ball back, gave him another fastball sign, threw a fastball right by him. Third time he gave him the other fastball sign, hit it in the upper deck in Cleveland. So it wasn't lying to him, but the third one didn't get by him.
9 strikes out, 1 gone. No, I'll tell you what would get you occasionally, not very often back in those days, would be we had a pitcher named Jerry Boxer, BOXER. Red-headed guy, big guy, right-hander, had good stuff, real good curveball. And we're playing in an inter-squad game in Pensacola, Florida, in spring training. And the time before, facing another guy, not Boxer, I had hit a home run. So I come to the plate and Boxer's out there, and he gets me 2 strikes, throws me one right at my head. And as soon as he threw it, he says, "Watch out!" I duck, I hit the ground, and here it comes.
It's the curveball.
Curve right across the plate and grab some bench off.
So you can't trust those pitchers.
Not at all. Pides into deep left center, 2 down.
Well, that was the time when the White Sox brought up Gossage and Forster and Bart Johnson. It was all around the same time. And I just was traded to them from San Francisco, and I thought, this got to be the hardest throwing organization I've ever seen if these 3 guys came up and all of them could literally throw the ball through the catcher.
Alexei, well, at that particular point in time, the best right-handed arm was Bart Johnson.
Well, he was just out of this world.
Not only did he throw 100, the ball was all over the place.
Also became a very good scout, but he's had some physical problems.
Off the end of the bat, Tolbert's there, makes the catch, hangs on to it with that spin. And that didn't take long. We're into the 6th. It is still 10-0.
And there's a look at what happens when the Sox win, and conversely when they lose. Now that usually is the case in wins and losses, but the disparity is pretty astounding. With 27 of the 39 games decided by 3 or more runs.
Want to know the count to Jason Kubel, who is 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. Nice. Pulled a string on him, had him way out in front. 1-1 the count.
And for Lance, this is when you have to save that bullpen. He's doing a pretty nice job of it.
Bullet, Jermaine. Can't get it. Got turned around a little bit. Going to hold him to a single.
That's a hard single. This is the toughest ball for any outfielder, the one hit right at him. And Jermaine turns the wrong way, turns the other way, and the ball goes over his head. However, Kubel, who hit the ball real hard.
Kubel's got a chance to be a monster.
Well, I think so. I think if he gets a chance to play and play consistently, he's going to put up some huge numbers.
That ball hit hard by Cuddyer, and that's over the head of Posednik. And now it's going to be held to. You don't see that very often.
This is probably, for just pure footage, the two longest back-to-back singles maybe in the history of the sport. Especially with guys who can run a little bit. Cuddyer just crushes this ball. Scotty Potts gets it back in quickly, and they've got two exceptionally long singles.
And here's Creedy. He's 1 for 3 with a homer. Kansas City leading Cleveland 3-2, 4th inning at Kauffman Stadium. Two and one to count to Creedy.
That's trying to get that fastball inside. He gets it a little too far inside.
You know, talking about those stories of pitchers telling the hitters what's coming. One of the best from years past was Denny McLain was pitching in Detroit. Mickey Mantle was playing. The Yankees were playing him. And Mickey had a historic number home run coming up to tie somebody or to pass somebody. So the Tigers had a pretty big lead, and McLain's out on the mound, so he asked Mickey when he got in the box, he yelled in, he said, "Mickey, where you want it?" So Mickey put out his right hand, belt high, right in the, he said, "Right there." As here's the 3-2 pitch. Pokes that into right field. Jermaine is there, makes the catch, and is out number 1. So he throws it right there. Then he had very, very good control. Mickey swung hard, fouled it straight back. Mickey, same pitch? Yeah, Denny. Puts out his right hand, throws it right there, fouls it back. Mickey, one more time. Throws it right there. Mickey tore out a seat in that upper deck out there, and upper deck in Tiger Stadium for a home run. Now Pepitone's the next hitter, and Pepe walks up. Denny didn't say anything, and Pepe's looking at him. And at that time, Pepitone wore a hairpiece.
At that time?
Yeah.
He wore one when he was 6.
So he had his hairpiece on. And he looks at it. Denny says, "Denny, right here, buddy, right here." Well, that pitch took his hairpiece off between his shoulders and his head.
Yeah, that wasn't as historic probably as the one that Mickey hit.
No.
I'm sure he hit a lot of historic home runs in his pursuit of all of those folks who were in front of him for a while, and most of them now behind him in home run totals.
Inside. Yeah, Denny, I was hitting at Fenway. Denny had like a 7-1 lead. In the bottom of the 8th inning, I come to the plate. He says, "Hawk, where you want it?" I said, "Right there." So he threw it right there, hit a little two-hopper to the shortstop. Grounded out. But back in those times when that was the rule, you saw a lot of that going on. When I say a lot, I'm not talking about every game or every day or every week, but there was a lot of it, and that was one of the things that, you know, players had a tremendous amount of fun back in those days. playing against each other. Now, if he got out of hand, somebody was going to get drilled, like Pepitone. But overall, it was, and the umpires were the same way. You get a big, like a 10-0 lead right here. You walk to the play. Hey, Steve, better start swinging that bat. Hawk, swing the bat, buddy. And the phrase was back in those days, hey, swing the bat. We're getting to the cocktail hour.
Well, there was an umpire that passed away, National League umpire at the time, named Lee Wire. He would ask the first hitter for his bat, and then he would carve out around the plate with the bat handle, which gave you another couple of inches around the plate, and he said, there it is.
And there's ball 4, so 1 out, Sox packed. Morales now 2 for 3, had 2 singles and a run scored, and that'll bring up Matt Tolbert, who is 1 for 3. Well, there was nothing wrong with that. Of course, the umpires cannot do that today. Somebody file a grievance against them.
Probably true.
But as long as we knew the rules, that's all we wanted to know. How big the strike zone was going to be. We knew in a game like this, a 10-0 game, it was going to get bigger. There was no doubt about that. I don't care who was behind the plate.
And there you look at the bases. 2 very long singles and a walk.
There's a base hit in the left. It's going to get 1 home. And it's 11-0.
And here comes Ozzie. And Jimmy Gobble will come into the game.
So Lance came on in the 3rd. He works 2 1/3. He'll depart, and we'll be back.
It's the Socks for Troops Military Sock Drive this Sunday. Bring new white socks to any gate on Sunday to support our troops overseas. For tickets to the game, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. And Jimmy Gobble comes into the game. Gobble with no record. On for just the 3rd time. 3.86 ERA, and there you look at the numbers. He inherits the bases full of Twins.
And Punto at the plate, who's 0 for 2. He also has a sacrifice bunt. Fouls that one back into the seats. Last time out, Gobble really threw the ball well. In fact, the best we've seen him throw it in a couple of years.
And that bodes well for the Sox if he can continue to do that, because you certainly can never find enough left-handers who can get the ball over the plate.
Ground ball left side, make a good throw. And they turn it? No. One more scores. And it is 12-0.
This one's charged to Lance Broadway. Stays behind the bag, using it pretty much as a shield, making sure that he doesn't get taken out, and he gets a throw off, but just missing Punto at first.
And here's Span. Takes first pitch strike. He's 1 for 4. Had a single and scored back in the third inning. 12-15-0 for their guys. 0-4 and big 2 for our guys. That evens the count at 1. Outfield swung around to the left. 25-year-old outfielder, Denard Span.
Over the years, they've brought some very good talent out of this organization. And because they were usually working with a fairly limited payroll, they had to develop their own.
And that hit him. So that will load him up.
AJ sitting away. And this one got a piece of that right elbow. That doesn't feel too good.
That'll bring up Joe Mauer. He is 2 for 3. Couple of doubles, couple of RBIs. And he takes ball 1. Just joining us, Twins 1 in the first, 7 in the second, 6 of those unearned. 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, that was unearned. And 2 so far here in the top of the 6th. And the count 2-0. And once again, a reminder, tomorrow, first of that 3-game set, interleague play with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gavin Floyd against Zach Duke. So make your plans to be with us here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. The weather is supposed to be just terrific over the weekend. And then we hit the road again after Sunday. Big hack, no contact. And let's take a look at our Felco upcoming schedule. You can see 3 with the Buccos. And to Anaheim for 3. Off day on Thursday, and 3 with Kansas City. But when we get back,
we've got 18 home games in June and 11 road games. And that's the month to put everything all together.
Yes. We got to hold our own, come back, get it close to 500. Before that, and a full count. For the Sox pack, 2 down. Yeah, that split doubleheader will be made up on June 8th.
It's a 5-game series. There's a lot of ground to be picked up in that one.
Fail. Ball hit deep into left center field. And it's out of here. That's a grand slam. And it is 16-0.
Well, if you're going to give up a bunch, give them all up in the same day. Here's a Ford home run replay, and that's the 8th home run of the year for Mauer. Bear in mind, he missed a month. He's also driven in 24 runs, including 6 of them today.
Big hack by Morneau, who has walked 3 times and grounded to second. So 16-15-0 for Minnesota. Looks like they get a chance to break this 6-game losing streak.
I would think they've got a leg up on it.
High pop-up. Jermaine stays with it. That wind swirling up there and makes the catch. So once again they bat around. They put another 6 spot on the board. And it's big.
And we've got some defensive changes as Gomez is taken over in center field and Art Span moves to left field.
Jason Nix is going to hit for Jermaine Dye. Well, once again, we got to see if Nick Blackburn can pitch with a lead.
Yeah, if he can't pitch with this lead, he's wearing the wrong uniform.
Want to know the count. That's softly hit. And they just do get it. That's a Doc Edwards shot right there.
It looked like a wedge shot that I would hit without the backspin.
With that 64 degree. Well, look who's coming to the plate.
Carlos Quentin. It's nice to see him back.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. Take strike one. Carlos, 8 homers, 18 knocked in. And the count very quickly 0-2. Josh Fields on deck. Well, it is a beautiful day. That's it down to Creedy. Sucks it up. Throws him out. 2 down. $23,048 in the house.
Well, last night was a whole lot of fun because it was dog day and dog night. Not to mention winning the second game of the series.
It is so tough to sweep a series at the big league level. I don't care who you're playing or where you're playing. It is really tough. As a rule, something's going to happen. And that something happened in this game.
Yeah, one mistake opened the door, and after that, it was a bit too late.
Yeah, it's tough to give anybody 4 outs. We've done it a couple of times. Meanwhile, that didn't take long. We'll go to the 7th, trailing 16-0.
Feature group of 20 or more guests to an unlimited buffet and drink package. Receive discounted tickets for the game. You can do that and book a patio party today. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. And some defensive changes. Jason Nix stays in the game in right field. Josh Fields checks in at third base. And Wilson Betemit shifts across the diamond to first.
Carlos Gomez will lead it off. Now field about equidistant. Spread out a little bit as that pitch is outside. Detroit has picked up their 6th win in a row as they beat Texas 4-3.
Texas came in awfully hot in first place before getting swept by the Tigers. They're still in first place, but now by 2.5 games.
And there's a base hit. And it'll bring up Kadire. Kadire's 3 for 4, 3-run homer, 2 singles, and he scored 3 times. Joe Crede on deck.
Kadire came in and experienced a renaissance series. He wasn't swinging the bat real well, but he has in this series.
Got 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and 6 hits.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good series.
It's a good solid series.
Outfield slightly to the left. They get 4 hits. Gomez, boy, he's fun to watch. He'll pull up a third. He has just a very exciting running style.
He's another guy, Hawk, that you take a look at and you don't realize how big he is, because normally he's a leadoff hitter, as Kadire racks up another double. And we'll watch Gomez take off. Looks like he's just coasting. Could very well be that if that was a winning run in the game, they would have scored him on that play.
6'4", 195 pounds.
That's a nice size young man.
Just an exciting guy to watch. Crede, Joe's 1 for 4 with the homer. One out, and it's 17-0.
Joe drives in his second of the day. DJ Carrasco loosening out.
$17, 17-0 for them, 0-4-2 for us. And here's Morales. He's got himself a couple of hits. He's 2 for 3 with a walk and a couple of runs scored. And he's takes strike 1.
Is it the 7th inning already?
Well, Mully is not very happy right now.
No. They'll talk him off the ledge.
One and one to count. And the count 2-1. Tomorrow night, Devon, Florida against Zach Duke. Now, if you can't make it to the ballpark, that game will be right here on Comcast Sportsnet on Saturday. Clayton Richard against Ross Ollendorf. Can't make it to the ballpark. There's the base hit. That game will be over WGN. So they hold the runner.
And Morales getting a rare start with 3 hits today and a walk, and he scored a couple of times. So there's some gaudy numbers for these Twins this afternoon.
And he came in hitting .327. And in the finale on Sunday, before we hit the road again, go 3 in Anaheim and 3 in Kansas City. It'll be Mark Burley going for victory number 7 on Sunday against Jeff Karstens, and that game will be right here on Comcast Sportsnet. And that ball hit deep. And gone. Tolbert doesn't know it, but that's out of here.
Well, eventually they're going to tell him. And because he hasn't hit one this year, he hasn't figured out the trot quite yet, but he'll get it down. That's 20 runs. First major league home run for switch hitter Matt Tolbert. And the Ford home run replay. goes down. Pods goes up. That ball looked like it might have tipped off his glove. But the result is the same, and Ozzie comes out, and that's going to be it for Jimmy Gobble.
So Gobble, who last time out threw the ball well, did not throw it well today. He departs, and we'll be back.
Don't miss your chance to get the best seats available. To purchase your individual game tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. And DJ Carrasco comes into this one. And he looks up. 2019 and no errors for the Twins. There you look at the numbers. They've been very impressive for DJ this year. Despite the fact that he's given up more hits than innings pitched, for the most part, he's been doing the job he's been asked to do.
One out. And Nick Punto. He takes strike one. Nick. And all these numbers that Steve just gave you, he's 0 for 3. And that's going to be souvenir in the seats. Top of the 7th in Kansas City. Royals still leading Cleveland 3-2. And the 2-strike. And a curveball. That's off the facade of the LG Skyline Club seats.
Right down from the sign.
And once again, the 0-2 pitch. Yes, he did. He gone.
AJ doesn't realize that he doesn't have to appeal because Tim Timmons has already called him out. But AJ not looking behind him. And we'll see it. Oh, that's a 20-0 swing. And he did swing at this one. Yes, sir.
A little late, but he did swing.
Yeah.
And here's Span. He's 1 for 4 with a couple of unscored. In the left field, and Pods, that's a fair ball. Gets by him, so Span makes the turn, now pulls up, and a good thing he did.
One of those fans down there almost corralled the ball that was in play. A good effort by Scotty Pad. 5th double this year for Span. He slices this ball
perfectly.
just barely down the line. Unfortunately, that guy has no coordination, or he might get the boot.
Well, Brendan Harris will hit for Joe Mauer. Mauer was 3 for 4 today. Couple of doubles. Grand Slam homer. 6 RBIs.
Brendan Harris getting his opportunity.
There's first pitch strike. So Harris, who was 0 for 8 in this series. And that's up high. 1-1 to count.
I'm not sure how many times the Twins have done this on the road. Joining the 20-20 club, 20 runs, 20 hits, but it's few and far between.
Alexei throws him out. 7th inning stretch, 20-0.
Here's our Home Depot doing more on defense. And we go back to the 3rd inning with the bases loaded, nobody out. Sox help run themselves out of that one. That's one of the reasons why, to this point, there are goose eggs up on the board. Brian Busher checks in the game at first base.
And AJ takes it outside. Twins with 1 in the first, 7 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 6 in the sixth, 4 in the seventh. Everybody a long way to go. And Creedy makes the catch.
Well, that's a terrific play.
Over his head, AJ just looking at him.
He's wondering how he got to that. And AJ still staring out at him. Joe won't even look at him.
No.
He will not even look at AJ. He's probably one of the few third basemen in the league that could have made that play.
Betterman takes a strike. He is 0 for 2. Twice he has grounded out to second. Oh, 05, what a year. Wow. What a year. A.J. joining the club, and he and Aaron Rowan. As there's a little ground ball, so Betterman 3 times now is going to ground out to Tolbert. But between A.J. and Aaron Rowan, they brought Joe Crede out. He came out. They had a lot of fun. Prior to that, Joe would just come in the clubhouse every day, go in there, work his crossword puzzle, wait for the game to start, get dressed, play the game.
Well, that was also a year that for a long time didn't look like there'd be a whole lot of drama as far as winning it was concerned. And I think it obviously ended astonishingly well, but when you realize how close the Indians came, put a little drama into the last month of the season.
They put more than that. They tightened a few sphincters, I'll tell you that for sure. But in the end, we went in there and swept them. And then went 11-1 in the postseason play. Thank you very much. The only game we lost was right here to the Angels. Lost it 3-2.
And by sweeping the Indians, it took them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, that was. But one of the things that I think about is just what A.J. and just not what they and Aaron what they did on the field. It was what they did to Crede. And it really made Joe a better ball player. As that's poked into left field by Chris Getz. That didn't take long. Another 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 11 in a row, and he leads it 20-0. All right, David Kaplan, thank you. Brian Busher will lead it off. Hits first pitch into left field. Pods is there. 1 pitch, 1 out. 20-20-0 for them. 0-4-2 for us. At one time, there were 23,048 in attendance.
A few have left.
Beautiful day here at the ballpark, though. In every respect except 20-0. But these days are going to happen.
Give them all up on the same day, things will work out pretty well. And there's a warning issued. DJ Carrasco, warning to the dugout. First pitch was inside, and the second pitch was a little further inside.
And the count 3-0.
Jose Majerus listening up in the bullpen.
They say he's been throwing the ball well. Lined right at Brian Anderson.
That ball was just starting to take off on him. Usually you expect a sinking line drive. Not that time. Brian goes up. Looks a little surprised that that ball wasn't sinking.
And here is Cuddyer. He is 4 for 5 today. A 3-run homer, 2 singles, a double, and he scored 4 times.
Our Dodge drive of the game came back in the second inning, and it was a 3-run blast.
He grounds out to short. Alexi throws him out. Nice inning right there, quick by DJ.
Advantage of an enclosed setting with an outdoor balcony and private seating area for your group. A buffet is also available. Book a terrace suite today. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. And Majerus on the mound. And Hawk is right. He is throwing the ball real well. ERA 2.25 on for the 12th time.
And Bryant swings at the first high fastball. Fouls it right side. He is 1 for 2.
12 strikeouts in 12 innings with just 4 walks. Left-handers might as well go home. Right-handers have hit him.
Outfield spread out. And the count 0-2. Pittsburgh tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Breaking ball low. You need a good effort out of Gavin tomorrow night.
Well, Pittsburgh is a lot better team these days than they were, although they still have a little growing to do. They're not going to contend Not in the Central this year, but they're only 2 under 500.
And there's a base hit. Just reaches out, pokes it into right field. That's our first hit since the 4th inning.
Got a couple of hits today for Brian Anderson. His fastball is up and out of the strike zone, but as long as it's up, you might as well take advantage of it.
We go back to the top of the order with Pasednik, who is 1 for 2. Take strike 1.
Fan in the LG Skyline Club is getting booed. Tried to one-hand that one. Always a mistake when you're watching a game. Always use 2 hands.
Unless you got bad hands, and 1 hand's better than 2.
But if you get bad hands, then let somebody else catch it. He's explaining now, look, I mean, I had that, but it just hit off my hand.
Back before I broke my hand, I used to catch as that ball into center field. Gomez. One out, and that'll bring up Alexi. Alexi is 0 for 2. He walked his first trip. Now the outfield really spread out. They will give you the gaps. And of course, the deeper they play, the bigger that gap gets.
I was going to say, for a 20-0 lead, they are about as deep as you can get in the outfield.
Ball gets away. Not a good feed at all by Tolbert right there, so everybody's safe.
That's going to go E4. It wouldn't have been a double play. They wouldn't have been able to turn it, but this is where you just take one. You realize who's going up the line. It's a slow developing play anyway.
So he picks up his first arrow on the day. He hits his first home run. And here's Jason Nix with 1 down, ducks on the pond. Took that pitch nicely. Down in the end, 1-0 the count. Ball is striking out here in the bottom of the 8th as we trail by 20.
That sounds very strange.
Sounds vulgar, doesn't it? Wow. And the count 2-1.
You're probably going to be hard pressed to say that too many times this year, I hope.
You would think. Right here, Jason. And the count evens at 2. Jason didn't particularly care for that call. Carlos Quentin on deck. Made a good pitch. In on him, hit him on the fist, pops him up, Busher. 2 down.
I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but I was personally responsible for a guy that I really liked getting released in A-ball. The reason I say that, he was on the pitching staff I was, and I personally started 5 games where the score wound up in the 20s against us. So I would get knocked out giving up 4 or 5, but then they would bring in this Rick Hayes. And because the score was completely out of hand, they would just leave him in. He got slaughtered. He didn't make it past the end of May.
That was a big mistake.
Well, I mean, he had to take it for the club because he didn't run.
That's what I'm
through
saying.
the whole
I mean,
bullpen.
they needed him for you every time you pitched.
Well, just 5 times.
Carlos. That's lined into left field for a base hit.
The fans happy with that one. It breaks the shutout. So although the run will be unearned, it's a run nonetheless, and Carlos gets that fastball right down where he wants it, drills it into left field.
And that'll bring up Josh.
keep their head down about. They played 4 very good games against the Yankees. 3 walk-off victories for the Yankees. I mean, they were in every ball game.
2-2 to Morales with 1 away in the 9th. You know, the fans feel it, and it almost numbs the fans. And so the question to you is, can it have a numbing effect on the players?
No. No, it does not. And I think a true fan knows that throughout a 162-day schedule that a lot of things happen. You have good days, you have bad days. It's kind of like life, you know. Some days you wake up and you feel better than other days. Well, the Twins feel pretty good today right now.
Morales has reached 5 times this afternoon. The only time he was retired, the wind knocked down what could have been his first major league home run. Here's Tolbert, who hit his first major league home run as a right-handed batter, pulling it. One and 2 to the Twins second baseman. 2-2.
Carrasco, another pitcher from the Kansas City Royal organization.
Yeah.
Had a good year for him last year. This is his 2nd season with the White Sox.
I might see Marty Patton pitch for the White Sox at some point. 3-2. The Royals are trailing the Indians 4-3 in the 8th. The Royals between the Tigers and the Twins in the standings.
Good at bat right here for Matt Tolbert. Been fighting off some fastballs. Carrasco's been missing with the breaking ball.
Field. And a late run and catch by Nix out number 2.
Yeah, Nix normally an infielder, getting to play some outfield. He's also played some left field for Ozzie Guillen. Always good to put that on your resume. If you're a utility type player like Jason Nix.
Ron Gardenhire said on a number of occasions that Matt Tolbert could be an outfielder for the Twins. Nick Punto played out there for a while.
Yep.
One strike to Punto. That's a foul ball. It'll reach the seats. 2 strikes. Twins won't see the White Sox again till right before the All-Star break. White Sox make their first visit to the Metrodome. And by then they might have Jake Peavy. Who knows? White Sox typically have brought in, through a big trade or two, brought in players over the course of the season. Robbie Alomar brought in here once. Carl Everett a couple times brought in, I think, during the course of the season. 2 strikes to Punto. The Twins have found success the other way, making call-ups, and to that end, we'll be very curious what we see from Anthony Swarzak on Saturday. Last year, they brought in Ken Griffey Jr. late in the season. 1-2 to Punto. Decent bet. I would think Nathan would get the 9th inning.
Well, he's warming up in their bullpen. Looks like he might. We'll find out here.
Twins go scoreless in the 9th. And Nathan will pitch the bottom of the 9th in a non-save situation. And it's going to the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, 4 home runs here this afternoon for the Twins. Gotta like that. 2 3-run home runs, 1 grand slam, and a solo home run. Nick Blackburn working the first 7 innings, only allowed 4 hits, 3 walks with a couple strikeouts. Joe Nathan here will get the 9th. Just to get some work in right here. He last worked on Friday when he had that blown save opportunity and ended up getting the loss in that 5-4 loss, the one that Melky Cabrera ended up getting that 2-run single in the left field.
Corky Miller's going to hit for Pierzynski, leading off the 9th inning. Pitch foul to the screen. Miller, Betemit, and Getz are scheduled to hit here for Chicago in the 9th. One and one. Twins won the first game of the first 3-game series here. They're 3 outs away from winning the final game of this 3-game series. And they have 3 more coming up here in September, as we said before. And a win by the Twins would keep them a game ahead of the White Sox in the standings. And put the brakes on that losing streak that started when Nathan was beaten by Cabrera and the Yankees. Miller strikes out, 1 away.
A good high fastball over there by Nathan. He picks up a strikeout. And Nathan usually good for 1 strikeout per inning pitched. Good hard fastball right there that Miller could not catch up to.
Benameet with 3 ground balls on the day. Fouled away, 1 strike. Foul, 2 strikes. The guy that the White Sox gave up to get Benameet, Nick Swisher, finally hit his first home run for the Yankees last night. First of a back-to-back home run sequence for the Yankees. And another foul. Two strikes to the Chicago utility player. And a roller foul. Twins are home for a week. 3 with the Brewers, 4 with the Red Sox. David Ortiz finally hit his first home run of the year last night. And the Twins are home for a very short homestand, or on the road for a very short road trip to St. Petersburg, 3 games. Then they come back and take on the Indians. That's just 3 games, and we're on the road again for a week and a half. Fly to left. Span. Still in the outfield grass. Making the catch, even though the Twins haven't done well on the road. Joe Mauer has on this trip.
Yeah, 4 home runs for Joe Mauer on this trip. 2 in New York, 2 here. And Joe Mauer on a 14-game hitting streak.
Getz will hit for the White Sox, and again we'll hear from Joe Mauer in the Quest Twins Live postgame show. Outside the ball. Toward the hole. Nice pick up by Punto. And a throw on target. Getz with a hit. Keep the game alive for Chicago.
Oh, good effort right there by Nick Punto. He got to the ball. He knows that Getz has good speed. He had to almost on the run throw it over there, and it just pulled Busher off the bag. Getz gets his second hit of the ball game. And for the White Sox, there's 7. Busher hasn't played a lot of first base. Good play by Busher getting off the bag. A lot of times first basemen will stay around there. Think I can do it, but you know, that big lead, go get the ball.
Here's Anderson. A couple of hits for Anderson, and he scored the only run of the day. There's a little tapper in front of Creedy. Tough play, bare hands, fires, and that one off the line. So Anderson will get his 3rd hit. Creedy barehanding it and firing it. And the 8 and 9 hitters keep the game alive for Chicago.
Yeah, always a tough play right here for a third baseman. You expect, you're playing back. You have to come in. Only one play to barehand it. And Busher again having to come off the bag.
Sednick coming to the plate. 1 for 3 with a walk. At the knees, a strike. So now a couple men aboard, and Nathan wants to get off the field, get his teammates off the field without any run scoring here in the ninth. Poke foul, and now the White Sox down to their last strike. And look at Pasednik, and he's hitting .271, a threat to steal. Covering some ground in left field. Giving the White Sox at least some credibility in their leadoff spot that they've not had for a while. It's blocked by Morales. 1 and 2. One and 2. Nathan to Pasednik. Center field. And the 6-game losing streak comes to a screeching halt. A 20-1 thumping of the White Sox in the series finale. A lot of hitting heroes for the Twins. Michael Cuddyer, Joe Mauer among them. We'll hear from them on Quest Twins Live, which comes up.